Good morning. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes, let everybody hop on. We're going to be going through a little bit of what we've been going through this morning as far as our daily class, Scaling for Life. And we're opening this up to Q&A and give value to everyone. And access to as many people as we can. Everything that we've been talking about this month is going to be autosuggestion, and what does autosuggestion really mean? And the reason we're doing this is to get a better understanding. You will never understand reality until you start to understand you. And understanding you gives you an understanding of why you're living the way you're living, why you're experiencing the reality that you're experiencing. What you've got to understand is that reality is a product of your ideas. And it's a product of the way that you're thinking. And the better and the sooner you can understand you, the better you can adjust and achieve things that you never thought before, recondition a new behavior, rearrange a new order, live a different life. And you can do that. But first, you've got to be willing to take responsibility of the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror. You've got to be able to give yourself a command and do the things that you say you're going to do. You've got to be able to set a target, set a goal, set a date, set a time for requirement of a goal, of a vision. And again, I'm going to remind everyone that the goals, they're not to get. Goals are to grow. It's who you're becoming along the way. You learn a lot more from you and about you whenever you achieve a goal. As you work towards a goal, you're beginning to break beliefs. You're beginning to recondition new beliefs about yourself. You're beginning to see yourself in a new way. So it's who you're becoming along the way. This is how you grow. You grow by understanding. And you never get understanding until you do the thing that you set out to do. That means you've got to do it. You've got to express it in actions. This is how we learn. Through expression. You will never learn a thing until you do it. You can learn a thing consciously, intellectually. You can memorize things. School does really well in working on one of the higher faculties. They miss the rest of them. But one of them they do get, and that's memory. We get pretty good at memorizing things, and then we get graded on it. The rest of your life, whenever you go into the world to express that memory, majority of it doesn't serve you. And majority of that memory only takes you so far. Then you forget it. So it's very important to understand that memory is something that allows you to reason and to relate, but it does not define who you are. What defines who you are is what memories you use, what memories you express, what memories you are willing to understand, to comprehend. What really allows you to grow is whenever you go beyond the memories you've had in the past and the ideas that you've had in the past and go into your creative imagination and go pick up new memories, new ideas, new visions, new understandings from different places. When you could take ideas and visions and use your creative imagination and take that on and willing to understand that, you open yourself up to a whole other world. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put them on there. They'll notify me when we have something. You have the ability to originate. And because you have the ability to originate, that means you have the ability to what? To select. To select where you're going. To select what you're going to create. To select the life you're going to live. You've been conditioned to think that you do not have that power. Majority of us have been programmed to think the way the environment trained us to think. But if we don't go beyond those thoughts, we stay subject to what? Our beliefs. And the beliefs come from the environment that we were raised in. I'm going to touch a couple of key points here, and Also, we can probably play this live and go back to some of the things that I was touching on. They'll work on the videos. We need to understand that the mind is a movement. And because the mind is movement, it is a mental activity. We can be conditioned to use the mental activity that we were born, the environment. This is what programming is. Everybody was, if you want to call it brainwashed, that's fine, call it brainwashed. Everybody was brainwashed as they arrived. Unbeknownst to you, doesn't matter, you were brainwashed. Or you received your first set of programming, instructions. You were conditioned from the environment, the way they think, the way they talk, the way they walk, what they do, what they don't do, their fears, their doubts, their worries, their level of conscious awareness, what they think is possible or don't think is possible. When the child is born, it has no ability to reject. None. It must accept every idea. Now, a lot of you think, well, where's consciousness? Where's the spark of consciousness? Well, this spark of consciousness is energy. I know that I have a body. I know that I live in a body. That means essence is in the body. The day that essence leaves this body flatlines and immediately begins to disintegrate. It's gone. I've seen people's bodies leave at young ages, seen bodies disintegrate immediately in their teens, in their 20s, in their 30s. You've seen it. The spark of life left. Immediately begins to disintegrate. If the brain cannot transmute information to the organs, it's gone. The child received all of the data and the information from its environment. And because it received all this information, this is the first set of instructions. It could not reject. So consciousness begins to want to originate ideas. It wants to think and to gather the ideas that it has to do what? To experience itself outside of itself. The little child wants to run. The little child sees and wants to jump. The little child sees and wants to drink, and wants to use a spoon, and it wants to use a cup, and it wants to do all these things. Where is it getting its information from? The people that are raising the child. So all of these ideas become the what? You can call this a puzzle piece. It received a framework of a puzzle of the environment and the people that raised him or her. But these instructions is a beginning data. Now think about this. If a child receives instructions and it wants to think, so it starts to gather the puzzle pieces to want to what? Experience itself outside of itself. It begins to think of ideas of how to do this and how to do that, and how can I do this and do that. I want to aspire. I want to individualize myself. This little child is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 19, becomes teenager, and they begin to want to what? Individualize themselves. Why? Because they see everyone else and what they're doing. They see how they're experiencing life, and they as well want to what? Individualize their own experience. They have their own character, built-in own character. But all this goes back to what? The beginning data from where they were raised. So every individual thinks that they're thinking. They're not thinking. They're thinking from the original base structure of when they were born. You want to know what's been controlling your life? That. You want to know what's controlling your future? That, if you don't rewrite it. That's why it's so important to understand the subconscious and the way it works. If you don't understand the program, you don't understand the mind, and you don't understand the reality, you're not going to go much further than where you've been. That's why 97% of humanity stay within the constructs of their environment. It's rare you see somebody that really jumps out of their what? Their previous environment, their conditioned way of thinking, because they were programmed to stay there. Now, how do we get beyond what we were programmed to have? You've got to go to the imagination. You've got to be able to willingly consent and say, I'm going to go there and I want to accomplish that. And willingly to what? Gather that new information. To what? Take you into a new direction. And if you're not willing to do that, you stay what? Stuck. You're not willing to go beyond the first box, puzzle piece box they gave you. You're not willing to go beyond it. Why are you stuck? I was stuck. I know what it feels to be stuck. I didn't want to be there anymore. I know what it feels to not earn much money. I know what it feels like to live in poverty. I know what it feels like to not know if you can accomplish more. I've been there. I had to go get another box. Nobody would take me to go get another box. Nobody can change your life. Ultimately, it is your decision and your ability to make sound decisions. Your ability to originate. That is the essence of who you are. This is why you're perfect. Deep down inside, each and every one of you are perfect. Deep down inside, every human, there's essence that's perfect, locked up, waiting to be expressed. Your conditioned way of thinking, previous conditioned way of thinking, is holding that essence back. You have the ability to originate new ideas. But you've got to understand you're going to have to go beyond what you were programmed to do. That's what stopped you every time. Your fears, your doubts, and your worries, because you have no cells of recognition of how to go do the new thing. People are not earning $30,000 a year because they can't earn more. They're earning that $30,000 a year because that's all they think they can do. Unbeknownst to them, they could earn that in a month if they were willing to understand. Everybody can probably agree with me now. If you were willing to understand, would you not understand? If I told you I could take your annual income and make it a monthly income, would you be willing to listen? Listen means you're willing to take this information that we're teaching and apply it. You don't get understanding until you do. Are you willing and able? That's it, 2 things. We're doing Scaling for Life. And we've been doing this for the last couple of years. We're doing it to help people. I brought this out because I wanted to help society. I brought this information back to our companies so we can help internally our companies. Now we're doing it publicly. We're taking all of the experiences and we're documenting them. So people have proof of concept, because people will never believe a thing unless they can see it. And we have proof. Are you willing to learn something new? We have Business Matrix on the weekends, Saturdays, to help people with their business or companies work their way into a partnership, have their own company. Or people that are in a company that really have a job and not a company, how to have a company, how to work on the company, how to be an investor. Are you willing? Why are we doing this? Responsibility. Responsibility not only to ourselves, but the people around us. I believe we have a question. Zach?
Yes, we do. And I'm actually reading this to everyone right now. So you have two messages right now. One is from Richard Carranza. He said, yesterday, how has auto-suggesting helped me? Yes, first, I would like to say thank you for teaching me to be aware of how the mind works. That brought me to the understanding that I can do anything I set my mind to. I'm very grateful for this program. Now to answer the question. Auto-suggestion has changed my life and is continuing to do so. First, I decided to change my life and knew my mindset was the problem. I knew I couldn't treat this like a hobby, so I did the unthinkable. I left the only thing I knew how to do, which was working on an oil rig. The first place I walked into was I Am Mastermind. After talking to the personal, I began to ask myself who I was and what did I want. I knew that I wanted to be and how I wanted to revolutionize the oil and gas global industry. So I got to work. The old behavior was the problem, and I know if I truly did what all the lessons and what the groups were talking about, the process, I would achieve the unachievable. So every day, all day, I read the book, listen to the video, wrote pages on top of pages on who I was, what I wanted, and what I was going to do. Meanwhile, everything around me was telling me it was impossible and that I made a mistake. I chose to not listen to anyone or anything that wasn't in harmony with what I wanted to do. My self-talk began to change. I began to have the confidence in myself that I never wrote in my life. And now I'm studying every day, all day on my vision confidence formula. Watching the videos and even the music I am listening to change. Although all through auto-suggesting, I did even realize I was changing, it was becoming my normal. And now the idea of how I was going to revolutionize the oil and gas global industry idea in the drilling fluid aspect is now a patent software that I've developed. In May, this concept will be going global. When I really made the decision to choose what I was going to experience in this life, and choose not to let anything, mainly me, get in the way, everything changed. Stay the course, keep at it, repetition and persistence, have faith, don't lose sight of the vision. Auto-suggest all day to yourself what you are, what you're doing, how your mindset is, that you'll find the answers every time you look at your own work. Stay seeking a better and better understanding. For whatever you're seeking, it's seeking you. Find your desire, be one with what you are, and you'll have it.
Well done. Thank you, Zach.
There's also another comment from Robert.
I think those, Andy, thank you for sharing that. Go ahead, Zach.
So you also have another comment from Robert Everett. He said, regarding autosuggestion, what are the top 2 things you have done that changed your thinking regarding autosuggestion? Other than self-talk and keeping your vision, was it writing out your goals, etc.? What was your etc.?
For me, the main things that every time I've accomplished something, it was always writing it down. For me, writing is very powerful. Writing causes thinking. So when I would start to write, I would go into a trance, and I would start to think. And as I begin to think in that direction of where I want, of what am I wanting, and what I want to see, be okay with asking yourself, what do you want? Be okay with that. And as you begin to ask yourself, what do I want? How do I want to live? You start to get ideas. It's not an accident. The brain is an electronic switching station. You get ideas. When you ask, you receive ideas. When you go out there and you go into the imagination and you're asking in an A direction, the mind is like GPS. It goes there. There's a place. As it goes there, you start to get what? Light images that come in, and they come to you, and they what? It's on the receiving end now. You sent it out, you receive. The brain is an electronic switching station. You sent out a vibration, you started to receive ideas. As I started to receive ideas, I'm being what? Shown the way. Shown what to do. Do we want to learn? Are we here to understand? You can be shown what to do next. Ask. You get by the ideas, right? Manuel, you came and asked a question, didn't you, the other day? If we wanted to do something. All of a sudden, I got a lot of light images, didn't you? Yeah. Can you tell us this? My light images were, I could have kept going. I stopped. My mind works very well at just going into the vision of what we're wanting to see. What do we want? And how can we connect the dots to help what? To help the bigger model, right? How quick did you see my mind move? Make sure it's on.
Yeah, it was quick. Like you started coming up with all kinds of ideas and started drawing it out. This is gonna work with this. This is gonna work with that, and yeah, you had all kinds of thoughts and images come to your mind.
Creative imagination.
Yeah,
All I asked was, what do we want? And how can we use this new vision to help connect the dots in the other areas, even with your own company, right?
right.
Why did my mind go there?
Because you asked, you were looking for the ideas and the images, and everything started just coming to you.
Yep. And I asked so my essence, it was already directed towards, how can I help you? Right?
Right.
My essence is already thinking, how can I help you? We want to go here and want to do this. How can we help? How can I always go back to giving, right? How can I help you accomplish your goal? And how can we accomplish the goal that we're wanting to get to and make this a bigger model? Because I know everything's evenly connected. And I know when you go to one thing and you think of one thing, you can connect the dots. But you've got to go there first. Consent. Auto-suggestion. I have a real good ability to give myself a command and go and do it. I started that behavior. One thing, I just got in the habit of conditioning myself. The first thing when I get up in the morning is go take a cold shower. That builds will. No hot, no luke, just straight cold. Doesn't matter where you're at, doesn't matter what part of the country, what part of the world you're in. Because I've been in different parts of the world. Straight cold. Doesn't matter whether it's summer, whether it's winter, straight cold. Every morning. That's discipline, the ability to give yourself a command and do it. Doing that has conditioned my mind. Whenever I say I'm going to do something, I go and do it. Auto-suggestion. Okay. Another thing that's helped me with auto-suggestion is, again, writing. I'll go back to writing. I give everything I've got to writing, but the writing didn't come from me. It came from what? A higher intelligence. We're always being guided. Understand that. When you want and you desire, we're always being guided. Write with confidence that what you're writing is something that's wanting to express itself. That's called knowing and understanding. Right? The only thing I have to do is understand it. Put it together. Right? Auto-suggestion on showers in the morning. Holding my vision as I go into my shower. And only holding my vision of my goal. That's going to condition my mind to hold the vision with focus and will and not think about the cold water. Focus, will. What am I doing? Everything's a muscle. If you go to the gym, you go for 3 months, you go for 6 months, you go for a year, and you're actually there on purpose. That means you show up there because you want to create an image. Everything I do it on purpose. If I go to the gym, do it on purpose. Define the image you want to look like. Then when you're there, be there for that. Auto-suggestion again. The mind is like a muscle. Condition your mind, give it a command, and do it. I'm going to take a cold shower every morning. Go do it. I'm going to hold my vision, my goal, as I'm already there. I already have it, and I'm already taking my cold shower in my new place, in my new home. And I'm thankful for being here. Right? Auto-suggestion. You asked. Auto-suggestion. What you're doing is you're conditioning your mind and you're building mental muscles. As you condition yourself to do that, you're going to be able to give yourself a command to do it. You're going to be able to build a vision and start to dream. You're going to be able to go give yourself a command and go do what you said you were going to go do. Commit to it. The things that hold people back is they don't understand that the fears, the doubts, the worries come in. Reject them. If you get emotionally involved with the fears, the doubts, the worries, another good mental habit, learn to reject what does not serve you. That's a good auto-suggestion. How do you learn to do that? through discipline of disciplining your mind. Okay? A couple of pointers. Do you guys have any more questions? We're past our time. You guys feel free to ask more questions, put them up there, and I will answer your questions tomorrow. As well for you guys, Zach's talking to me in my ear here. If you guys want to look at this video again and want to see the full video, go to our YouTube station. And if you guys don't have it, Zach, would y'all make sure y'all put the YouTube link so that they can go and review the full video? As far as our seminars, live seminars that are coming up, again, we have a live seminar on auto-suggestion. And we're going to be going through the process, an actual workshop. And we're doing a workshop every month. So if you guys are committed, not interested, if you're interested, you're wasting your time. A lot of you are interested and want a better life, but you're not willing to commit. But the people that are committed, send us a message, get signed up, so you can be here live, so you can start to learn this information, put it to practice. As far as our classes, again, Scaling for Life, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Business Matrix, we do that on Saturdays, every Saturday at 9. Everybody have a blessed day. We're going to go into our meditation.